सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। अनेकानेक नमस्काराः। भद्रका वाणिज्य कलाशाला द्वारा अंतर्जाल माध्यमेन संचाल्यमानेन पतंजलि योगः इति कार्यक्रमे सर्वेषां हृदयेन स्वागतम्। भद्रका वाणिज्य कलाशाला उस्मानिया विश्वविद्यालयेन अनुसन्धिता सर्वप्रथममेव वाणिज्य कलाशाला रूपेण प्रामुख्यं प्राप्ता। इयं कलाशाला 1950 संवत्सरे दारुल शिफा जनपदे स्थापिता। तत्पश्चात् काचिगुडा जनपदे अवस्थाप्य अस्याः नूतन भवनानि अतीव विशालरूपेण निर्मितानि। अस्माकं भद्रका कलाशालायाः तमसोमा ज्योतिर्गमया इति घोषणां सार्थकरूपेण परिपूरयन्तः अस्याः 60,000+ देशविदेशे विभिन्नोन्नतपदवीः प्राप्य अलङ्कृत्य च अस्याः नाम उज्ज्वलं कुर्वन्ति। योगसम्बन्धिना पुराणोक्तिः यत् अनभ्यासेन योगस्य सर्वरोगाः भवन्ति, प्राणायामेन युक्तेन सर्वरोगक्षयो भवेत्। अर्थात् यदि वयं योगाभ्यासं न कुर्मः तदा सर्वरोगाणां सम्भावना अस्ति। एवं च यदि वयं योगाभ्यासं प्राणायामं च कुर्मः तदा सर्वरोगाणां विनाशः भवति। एतत् सर्वे जानीमः यत् प्रतिवर्षे जून् मासस्य 21 दिनाङ्कः विश्वयोगदिवसरूपेण आचर्यते। अत एव एतस्मिन् कोविड-19 नामक महामारी क्लिष्टकाले प्राचीनकालस्य अमृतरूपेण महर्षि पतञ्जलिना रचितस्य योगसूत्रस्य वैशिष्ट्यं जनान् अवबोधयितुम् अपि च सर्वेषां जनानां शारीरिक मानसिक स्वास्थ्यवर्धनाय वयम् एतत् प्रयत्नं कुर्मः। आशास्महे यत् इयं सभा भवतां कारणेन सफली भविष्यति। As it is truly said, Vidya Dadati Vinayam, the knowledge and intelligence of Professor Abhirama Krishna, Director General, SJGB Educational Society, is visible in his simplicity and humbleness. May I now request Professor Abhirama Krishna to kindly do the honors of inaugurating the webinar with his valuable speech.
Sayyid Kashiram Gopi Kishan Bhadruka Educational Society set up the first college in 1950. So friends, this year is a landmark year since we are celebrating 70 years of our existence. So in other words, we are having our Diamond Jubilee celebrations. In the last 70 years, the management has engaged to crafting our students into an enlightened, spiritually inspired, morally upright, and socially committed citizens. We owe it to a progressive management, a huge number of philanthropists, corporate leaders, and well-known educationists who have guided us in the past and who continue to guide us even in the current times. I'm happy that the Bhadruka College of Commerce and Arts and the Department of Sanskrit is celebrating the International Yoga Day by inviting Professor Penna Madhusudan, a great proponent of Patanjali Yoga, to interact with us today. Friends, the United Nations declared 21st June as International Day of Yoga. More than 175 countries have co-sponsored this resolution, and now the Yoga World Day is celebrated across many countries. Yoga is a very powerful tool in clearing and dealing with people who are having a lot of stress, especially in the uncertain times we are witnessing, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. In its latest health guidelines, the Harvard Medical School stated that yoga, meditation, and controlled breathing are actually a sense of a proven and tested way to relax, especially in this very, very pandemic situation we are all witnessing. I'm sure this webinar from Mr. Madhusudan would help us to understand more about this yoga and help in our well-being and integration of mind, body, and soul. I welcome each and every one of you, especially Mr. Madhusudan sir, on behalf of Bhadruka College, and over to Dr. Srinivas.
विश्वानि देव सवितर्दुरितानि परासुव यद्भद्रं तं न आसुव। सर्वप्रथमं विश्व योग दिवसस्य शुभाशयाः शुभकामनाश्च सर्वे। अहं श्रीनिवासः सेठ घासीराम गोपी किशन भद्रुका एजुकेशनल सोसाइटी अस्य संस्थापक वर्ग पक्षतः भद्रुका वाणिज्य महाविद्यालयस्य प्राध्यापक वर्ग पक्षतः विशेषतः संस्कृत विभाग पक्षतः सर्वेषां विद्वद्वरेण्यानां हार्दं स्वागतं करोमि। विशेषतः अस्माकं प्रार्थनाम् अंगीकृत्य अतीव व्यस्ततायामपि अत्र आगतानाम् आचार्य पेन्ना मधुसूदन वरेण्यानां स्वागतम् अभिनन्दनं च करोमि। अपि च अस्माकं संस्थानस्य महानिदेशकाः अत्र समागताः प्रोफेसर अभिरामकृष्ण महोदयाः, तेभ्यः अपि हार्दिकं स्वागतम् अभिनन्दनं निवेदयामि च। अस्यां संगोष्ठ्याम् उपस्थितेभ्यः श्रोतृभ्यः, पंडितेभ्यः, आचार्येभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः हार्दं स्वागतं व्याहरामि। अद्य अतीव सुदिनम् अस्ति। विश्व योग दिवसस्य संदर्भे अस्माकं संस्कृत विभाग पक्षतः एकदिवसीय राष्ट्रीय संगोष्ठी दृश्यश्रवण माध्यमेन करणीयम् इति निश्चितम् अस्माभिः। विषयः को वा भवतु इति बहुधा चिन्तितं। सर्वे जानन्ति एव प्रस्तुतं करुणा कालः, कोरोना कालः अस्ति, गृह निर्बन्ध कालः अस्ति। राष्ट्रे सर्वस्मिन् जगति च कोविड-19 नाम विषाणुः प्रपंचे सर्वत्र बीभत्स रूपेण तांडवं करोति, सर्वान् जनान् पीडयति च। यत्र तत्र सर्वत्र विश्वे जनाः भयग्रस्ताः, भयभीताः, रुग्णाश्च सन्ति, बहवः मृताश्च। अस्य उपचारः कः इति चिन्तयामः तर्हि योग एव शरणम् इति ज्ञात्वा समीचीनं विषयसञ्चयनं कृतवन्तः वयम्। अस्याः अद्यतनसङ्गोष्ठ्याः विषयः पतञ्जलि योग फॉर पॉजिटिव हेल्थ ड्यूरिंग कोविड-19। आचार्य पेन्ना मधुसूदन महोदयानां परिचयः। सर्वे जानन्ति एव अयं महानुभावः संस्कृत साहित्य क्षेत्रे बहु प्रख्यातः प्रतिष्ठितः अग्रगण्याश्च। संस्कृत साहित्य के आकाश में आप एक चमकते सितारे हैं। आप साहित्य अकादमी पुरस्कार से सम्मानित हैं और संस्कृत विश्वविद्यालय के द्वारा वाचस्पति यानी डीलिट उपाधि से गौरवान्वित किए गए हैं। योग, वेदांत और साहित्य के क्षेत्र में आप अपने कार्य से जाने जाते हैं। प्रस्तुत में आप महाराष्ट्र के कालिदास संस्कृत यूनिवर्सिटी में डीन पद पर कार्यरत हैं। हम आपका हार्दिक अभिनंदन और स्वागत करते हैं श्रीमान। Professor Madhusudan Penna is a doyen of yoga philosophy in the contemporary world. Being a profound scholar of Sanskrit, he has a deep penetration into the ancient Indian scriptures. He also cultivates the knowledge of Vedanta and has established himself as an erudite scholar in the same discipline. With his all-comprehensive vision, he expounds the holistic view of Indian philosophy in the light of scriptural wisdom. He is at present the professor and dean of the Faculty of Indian Philosophy and Culture at Kavikuluguru Kalidas Sanskrit University, Ramtek. पुनः एकवारं सर्वेषां दर्शकानां संस्कृत प्रेमिणां स्वास्थ्य योग प्रेमिणां स्वागतम्। स्वस्थ भारत सार्थक बनाने के लिए हमें योग मार्ग पर चलना ही होगा। अपने जीवन को योगमय बनाना होगा, तभी स्वस्थ भारत का निर्माण होगा। इसी आशा के साथ इस कार्यक्रम का आयोजन किया गया है। आशा करता हूं कि यह संगोष्ठी आप सबके सुखमय और स्वस्थ जीवन के लिए लाभकारी सिद्ध होगा। Topic was decided like this: Patanjali Yoga for Positive Health during COVID-19. For the convenience of all the participants, we have decided that it should be in the English language only, because we believe in the universal saying, Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Happy and healthy life is the right of every living being. Therefore, I call upon today's chief guest, Professor Penna Madhusudan ji, to enlighten us on the topic given. Thank you. Penna Madhusudan sir. Over to Penna Madhusudan ji.
हरिः ओम। योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। Welcome to all the participants. Dear Abhiramakrishna sir, dear Srinivas sir, and all the other staff of Badruka College. It's actually due to some technical snag, so we could not start it in time, but still we are happy that at last we have started. Idanim Shrimatah Srinivasa Mahodayasya Divyam Devavanim Shrutva Anando Jataha Sampurnam Yakyanam Devavanya Samskritena Bhavatu iti आसीत् इच्छा, परन्तु इतरेषां सर्वेषां सौकर्यार्थम् इंग्लिश भाषया इदानीं मम वक्तव्यं प्रस्तोतुम् इच्छामि. Okay, don't fear. The rest of the lecture will be in English. And before that, I would like to tell all the participants that you come from different corners, different backgrounds. So please note that this Patanjali, the word in the title, has got nothing to do with the Patanjali of Ramdev Babaji, because this is the name of our great sage Patanjali, who has propagated the traditional Indian yoga system. So therefore, we will be all the while talking about the yoga as propounded by Patanjali Maharshi. And if you have got some doubts regarding Patanjali products, that means Haridwar products, etc. So I'll answer these questions towards the end of this lecture. But before that, I would like to share the matter with you. Yeah, Patanjali Yoga for positive health during COVID 2019. Yoga is all about balancing, because in the Bhagavad Gita it is popularly stated, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Balancing means yoga. So in our life we have to balance several things. On one side we have the duty, on the other side we have the beauty. That means some duties are there to be performed and some beauty is there. The life, every moment of life it has its own beauty. So if we give more importance to the duty of living, so we will be missing the beauty of living also. So therefore, it becomes to us that we have to maintain a kind of balance between these two, that is duty, karma, and beauty, saundarya. And in this process, yoga does definitely help us, because as I'm going to explain to you, yoga has that particular potentiality. See here, the balancing life and the beauty of living. On one side, you have the natural balance, but wherever there is balance, there is beauty. That is the secret of life. In our life also, if we observe, wherever there is balance, maybe in our day-to-day life, maybe in our other transactions, maybe in the nature itself. So in all this, we first see the balance and then understand the beauty of that and then appreciate it. So wherever there is balance, there is beauty. So this is the small principle, and this you can see and appreciate here. But while doing this balance, sometimes it so happens that we undergo stress, especially in these days of corona. We are facing a lot of stress because we means different individuals and we belong to different backgrounds. As I told earlier, we have different disposition towards life, we have different composition of body and our family background also. So all this amounts to some kind of stress. Of course, stress is inevitable. We cannot run away from stress because it is an integral part of our life. Even a small child has some stress. Even a fetus in the womb of mother, that is also facing some stress. So stress is something ineluctable, but still, if we develop our immunity, if we develop our skills, if we develop proper disposition towards life, then this stress will not mature into distress. So finally, we have to learn that it all depends on how we react. De-stress, that means all the while we should learn how to shed off the unnecessary stress, because It all depends how much importance we give to the material and individuals around. See, if we give unnecessary importance to people and the things around, naturally we will get some stress. So whenever we face stress, we should immediately understand the source of that. What is causing the stress? And if we go on analyzing the source of stress, then sometimes it so happens that the stress itself will lose its identity. That is the funny side of that. So Hans Selye, the founder, or you can say the first person to authentically speak on the stress, types of stress, reactions, everything, Selye. So he said, it's not stress that kills us, it's a reaction to that. So it's very true that how we respond. So here actually the difference lies between individual and individual. See, one individual may find some particular situation as stressful, while the other person may find the same situation unstressful. It all depends, because stressors are positive and negative. Negative stress leads to distress, while positive stress, which is called eustress by Selye, that actually gives success to us, makes our life very meaningful, purposeful. So I remember I read somewhere that what role stress has got to play in our life. So it's very simple. It's like the strings on a violin, suppose any instrument, the strings. So if you go on tightening the strings, then you will reach a particular point of time when the string will be totally broken. So there will not be any music. This is when stress is beyond control. One. On the other side, if you let loose the strings, not allowing them to play any music at all, then you cannot enjoy the music. So on one side we have lot of stress, then we cannot enjoy. If there is no stress, also we cannot enjoy, because stress is very important to lead a successful life. But all that what we have to learn is managing stress, coping with stress. So it is a very pertinent point, especially in these days of Corona, that being in the house, when our movements are totally restricted, we must learn the technique of dealing with stress and actually turning that into a positive one, not the negative one. In that, I firmly believe that yoga has got a very, very big role to play. Because when I was in the Netherlands, Holland, I was taught the same thing by my preceptor Mahesh Yogi, because he taught that the yoga builds all positive things inside your body, your mind, your intellect, your spirit. Everything is in perfect harmony, that you will definitely lead a very, very successful and ideal life. So in this process, you now see stress reactions. I told you positive stress, negative stress, but in the beginning itself, if we can identify them, understand them, then we can keep at bay all these negative effects of stress. For example, if you find that you are easily irritated and you are easily tired, or you feel tense, and all the while you are feeling elated, depressed, any of these feelings, you understand inside of you there is some stress, and that stress can be positive. That depends on you, how you deal with that. So you can tell yourself whether it is positive or negative. But when these emotions are really disturbing you, and your family members and everybody around you is telling you that these feelings are disturbing them, then you understand these agitative feelings are definitely leading to stress. And another thing is, if the stress goes beyond the controllable level, then it will lead to psychosomatic disorders. Psychosomatic disorders are, you can say, the body mind disorders are actually based in your thoughts in your mind. See, if I go on thinking negatively, then automatically all this body system will react negatively. And these will have a kind of impact on my body and mind. So initially it will be psychic stage, then somatic stage, then psychosomatic stage. And if we still do not give some thought to that and consult a doctor or take proper precautionary measure, then these all these symptoms will develop, and finally they will lead to some chronic disease. So therefore, initially these feelings should be properly checked and they should be properly stopped in the beginning itself. And in this process, we remember with great reverence the name of sage Patanjali. Patanjali, who belonged to the 3rd or 4th century BC, is the only sage who has given to the world the great nectar-like, the Amrita of yoga. That's why David Frawley, the director of American Institute of Sanskrit in America, he says that in the last millennium, India has given to the world two things. One is yoga and other is the Sanskrit language. And you understand here that when Patanjali Maharshi wrote something about the yoga, and especially keeping in mind the holistic health of any human being born anywhere, in any religion, any caste, in any body, he must enjoy full health. All individuals are entitled for complete health, and that particular health is assured by Patanjali Maharshi in his Yoga Sutra. And Patanjali Maharshi's Yoga Sutra, that is a text in 195 formulas, or sutra means pithy sentences, small sentences, and they carry very profound, deep meaning of yoga philosophy. And I believe firmly again that if we do not read and study and understand the Sutra of Yoga, sorry to say that we cannot be pure Indian. We may call ourselves Indian, but if we do not read the original text of Patanjali, then sorry, we cannot be called Indians, because all India is in Sanskrit texts, and that also in Patanjali, Vyasa. So all these are actually the source of all culture, wisdom, and all the science we have now, of which we are very much proud. And that sage Patanjali, who is still alive in the minds of many yoga practitioners, has given us the holistic yoga, where everything is connected. Your body, your mind, your intellect, your spirit, everything is connected. So it is not like the modern science dissecting into parts, but he actually integrates. So the integrated approach of Patanjali is verily visible in the Sutra, Yoga Sutra. And what Patanjali Maharshi has given to us, he has given us the Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 components of yoga. That means if you choose yoga or prefer to tread on the path of yoga, then you have this particular 8 components yoga compulsory. Because if you follow these, then you are definitely following Patanjali. What are these? 1, asana. Asana means you must be able to sit in a posture for hours together. If you develop this ability, then you are perfect in asana. But to develop this ability, you have to practice so many physical exercises every day called asana, sukshma vyayama. So if we practice this asana, then we can give to our body 4 types of movements, like rotating, stretching, bending, and twisting. So if we can give these movements to our body, then asanas are thoroughly performed. We need not practice all the asana, because all the asanas are not recommended for all the people. It all depends on your body, constitution, and body structure and age. So therefore, the asana should be properly chosen, properly recommended also. Then once you have mastered the bodily posture, you sit in that posture and you are comfortable, sthira, sukham, asanam, that posture is firm and comfortable to you, maybe Padmasana or Vajrasana, sit in that, and now focus on your breath. That is pranayama. And while doing pranayama, we all of a sudden, if we sit and start doing pranayama, the prana will not listen to you. So that's why pranayama should be practiced every day, that we can someday achieve full control over our breath. That's what B.K.S. Iyengar sir also achieved. You can find on the YouTube one of his beautiful video where he has shown the power of pranayama. See, only Puraka, few minutes continued. Rechaka, few minutes continued. It's very difficult, but he has achieved and had shown to us that through regular practice of pranayama, we can gain full control over our prana. Prana is nothing but the vital breath, energy. So through pranayama, we will be supplying full oxygen to our lungs. The lung capacity may be 6 liter air, but still we can give full supply of oxygen to the lungs. And when lungs get full oxygen, you all know that oxygen gets into the blood, then oxygenated blood will reach every part of cell of the body. And when each cell is invigorated, it is energized, then naturally you feel very happy, energetic, positive. So that is the effect of pranayama, and it's really, really very beneficial. And next we have pratyahara. Okay, you have chosen a particular posture, you sit in that Padmasana, Vajrasana, etc. Then you do some pranayama and control it, and then you go for pratyahara, where you will be withdrawing all the functions of your senses. So just withdrawing ourselves within, and inside we remain. And when we remain in ourselves, the first part of the practice is dharana. Dharana is nothing but focusing mind on a particular point. Dharana. So this dharana can be of any type. You can focus your mind on any part of your body, or outside, inside, because you can focus on Omkara, you can focus on Bijakshar or any sun or some light, etc. But dharana is compulsory, and once dharana gets matured, you will naturally step into the realm of dhyana. Dhyana is meditation proper, and in this particular meditative state, mind slowly gets into a kind of cajoled state of a peace, you can say. So in this state of dhyana, meditation, from dharana we will be getting into dhyana. It's actually not three. Dharana, dhyana, samadhi, though they are separately shown in the slide, they are actually not different. You experience within, and you may not be aware where dharana has matured into dhyana and where dhyana has transformed into samadhi. You will not be aware also sometimes. But Patanjali Maharshi has given to us that dhyana is the state where dharana is continued. So if dharana is the first moment of the dhyana, then the continuing state of dharana itself is dhyana. In dhyana, we are still aware of our surroundings, maybe our own breathing, our own self, and we have the awareness that we are still practicing meditation. So this is there. But a moment comes when you slip into the state of samadhi. You are not aware. This samadhi is rare. Very few people get that. But whoever gets it will never forget the taste of samadhi throughout his life, because it is like some addiction. And once you like this state of samadhi, you cannot like the external world at all. That's what we find in the lives of many saints, like Ramana Maharshi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Sadashivendra Saraswati, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gajanan Maharaj, Shirdi Sai Baba. So they are not totally engrossed in the worldly activities, but they prefer to sit alone and just enjoy the beautiful cuts of this samadhi. And these 6 are very important because they form part of our practice. But we have 2 bodyguards there, Yama and Niyama. Without these 2, whatever you practice in the name of yoga will not carry any value at all, because we practice asana, all physical exercises. We practice pranayama, all breathing exercises. We practice even dhyana. But if all the three are not supported by yama and niyama, and mind you, that yoga is not at all a yoga of Patanjali, because yama and niyama are nothing but personal discipline, social discipline. So we have to school our nerves, we have to school our senses, we have to teach them to come back from the worldly attractions. So we have to control at every moment, not harming others, non-violence, not stealing others' property, not telling lies, and maintaining full brahmacharya, and not accepting any gifts. All these are very important because they form part of the Patanjali Yoga. And similarly, we should maintain hygienic life, inside outside purity, cleanliness. Then contentful life we should lead. Be happy with whatever you have, but try for the higher state, but all the while have control on your emotions. Then tapaha, give some proper penance, in the sense proper exercise to the body in different ways. Then swadhyaya and ishvara pranidhana. So all the while studying, discussing the matter related to our own self. Know thyself, this is the motto. And all the while keeping in mind the supreme energy called God, and understanding and realizing that everything is ordained to follow the instruction of that divine energy is Ishvara Pranidhana. And if you develop that, then automatically your inner feeling will be bhakti or love. This is very natural. This is not artificial love or artificial bhakti that you cultivate because somebody tells you. It automatically, it comes from within. So it actually generates from your own being. So that feeling is bhakti, and all these forms part of our Patanjali Yoga. And in this, what we have to do every day, how much time we can devote, and what kind of yoga we can practice without any side effects, because yoga also has side effects if it is not practiced properly. So in this process we have Sukshma Vyayam, 20 minutes, I'll tell you about that later. Or you can practice Surya Namaskaram. It is the best one because 12 postures of Surya Namaskara, 12 rounds if you do, so that is sufficient because you will get proper exercise to the body. Or alternate day, you can go for walking, or you can do some chosen asanas also if they are properly taught by some good instructor. Because watching on YouTube or channels or indirectly learning the asanas etc. may be sometimes very dangerous. So therefore I strictly recommend that you approach a yoga teacher and learn these personally, and you will definitely appreciate. You may find some good videos on the YouTube also, all asana, pranayama, everything, but not all the asana and pranayama are good for all individuals. So therefore you must be very careful while choosing them. And every day you must practice deep breathing, pranayama and meditation. So in this way, if you can design your own daily routine of yoga for about 35 minutes, I think you will lead a very healthy life, maybe physical, psychological, all that. So no worry at all, no stress at all, because it all boosts our immunity system, and it fills our body and life with energy. So therefore we find everywhere all positives. So that's very great thing of this yoga. And once you choose some 35 minutes of yoga, then you understand the importance of the physical activity. What is this physical activity? Because we have a physical body, a sheath-like thing. Recent study has proven that physical inactivity is the cause of most chronic conditions, because we are actually born to move, born to be active, like chimpanzee, ape, all these. But if we prefer to be inactive throughout the day, automatically some part of the body will stop functioning. We do not know that. We may not be aware of what is happening to that particular part, but after some time, all of a sudden when we try to do some activity, that particular part of the body will not respond at all. That is the problem. That's why we find some people, when we ask them to sit and stand, do some sit-ups, they say, "Arey Bapre, what happened? Last week only I could sit, but now I'm unable to sit." So that happens. So we should give proper activity to our body also. Otherwise, we will find all problems, chronological aging like metabolic syndrome, obesity, insulin resistance, pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes, non-alcoholic liver disease, because alcoholic liver disease is very famous, but non-alcoholic liver disease also now growing. People are not aware of that, and it is very costly also, some 30 to 45 lakhs depending on the hospital. Cardiovascular diseases, these are not just names, these are the things happening in our body. So therefore we should be very careful with our physical activity. Cognitive functions and diseases, so we may lose memory, we may fail in concentrating also. But if we do regular yoga, especially Paschimottanasana in Vajrasan or the sitting posture, or if we practice Sarvangasana under the guidance of proper teacher, so definitely we can enhance the ability to concentrate. So concentration level and retention level, so both these levels will definitely increase. And bone and connective tissue disorders, this is the common problem generally people find at the age of 35 and above, because the bone tissues and the ligaments, so they generally get damaged and some disorders are reported. So therefore, if you want to avoid these disorders, so make yoga a part of your life, daily life. And cancer, diseases of digestive tract, pulmonary and kidney, so all these are recently known to the yoga people also. And in Kaivalya Dham, Lonavala, in SVAS, Bangalore, and in Munger and other institutes also, they have been doing a lot of research on these, and they have recently found that most of these diseases are a result of inactive life. And as people start practicing yoga, most of these diseases will disappear. That is the beauty of yoga. And in this, Sukshma Vyayama is very important. Sukshma Vyayama is nothing but warming up ourselves. A workout for each internal organ, joint, muscle. It handles the prevention and cure of many ailments and increases the strength and vigor, and also the functioning of all the different organs and systems in the body. So if we develop this, that if we practice Sukshma Vyayam daily, I told you Sukshma Vyayam means nothing but standing and giving proper movement to each part of our body, starting with our neck, head movement, neck, then shoulder, then elbow, then wrist, then side stretching, because the thoracic cage should be, that means the ribs, etc., that part should be given proper movement. Then hips and hip movement, hip rotation is very important, because this hip rotation, that actually is very good, especially when you have lower back pain. So this you practice and come down to the knees. Regular knee movement also is good. Sukshma Vyayam actually consists of all these movements. So knee, and then you come to ankle, then fingers. So all these, if you practice, it forms the Sukshma Vyayama. And apart from that, you can practice like walking, daily walking. So this reduces stress and builds immunity, because it has been a very proven thing that daily walking reduces stress and builds immunity. But if our social movements are restricted, then in our house itself we can make some strides. Physical exercise is one of the best things one can do for brain. This is very important, that our moods means nothing but the fluctuations in the brain, especially the neurological function, the neuron supply. And if we do physical exercise, automatically there is release of proper positive chemical called dopamine, etc. So the dopamine is properly released in the brain, and as a result of that, we find new production of brain cells. That means new brain cells are produced, and because of that, the brain cell aging and damage is slowed down. That increases actually. So the dopamine should be properly released in the brain, and for that physical exercise is very good. And if there is proper neuron supply in the brain, so we get all positive things, and our complete body gets proper signals from the brain, because it is, after all, the mild electric charge that the brain gives, that is transmitted through the neuron, the neuroglia. So neuron actually dendrites, it supplies the mild electric charge, and through that actually the energy signal is passed throughout the body. This is very, very important one. And for this we have to practice nothing but Sukshma Vyaya. It is non-expensive, it is in our hand, anytime you can do that, but not after taking heavy meal. So this you must keep in mind. And asanas, they should be easy and simple, not straining too much, because you watch some young boy or girl practicing some Vrishchikasana, Shirshasana, Padmasana, all that, and if you try to just challenging yourself, if you try to practice all these asanas, then you may have some broken back or something. So it's very dangerous. So that's why don't strain too much. That's what Kalidasa says in his Kumara Sambhava also. When Parvati practices penance and Paramashiva approaches her, he asks Parvati, Apiswa Shaktya Tapasi Pravartase. That means if you want to lead a positive, good life, then you must understand your limits. So you don't stretch your limit, not straining too much. Each part of the body should get some movement. Fitness experts say that few of the postures every day in the morning will give us a great start. Like Naukasana, like boat, Naukasana. That means we lay on the back and we raise our head and legs, and all the force will be on our abdomen. And beautiful posture, because this actually activates the Mooladhara chakra. And another point is, it reduces the belly, the stomach fat, and it gives us energy. Then Paschimottanasana, we sit, stretch our legs and try to touch the toes with our hands first. Then we try to touch our knees with our head. So this is Paschimottanasana, and this is very, very good because it actually stretches our vertebrae, that is spinal cord, and as a result there will be proper electric supply that is through the peripheral nervous system. So it is actually very, very beneficial. Ardha Matsyendrasana, half spinal pose, Pada Uttasana, Dvipada Uttasana, Dandasana, Viparita Karani, Bhujangasana. Bhujangasana is excellent because we actually lay on our chest. Then we try to stretch ourselves, just keeping up ourselves on the strength of our hands only, pushing the hands down. If we raise our upper torso, then that becomes Bhujangasana, and it's very good because it gives proper, like the Paschimottanasana, this also gives proper exercise to the vertebrae and the thoracic cage, that means the ribs. This is very good. And then come to Surya Namaskar. Surya Namaskar is actually, even if you do not practice asanas, practice Surya Namaskara. And I know people who practice 100 repetitions also without any break. And it is said that Samartha Ramdas, the guru of Chhatrapati Shivaji, used to practice 1000 to 1500 Surya Namaskar every day. So that kind of great people were there in India. So we should not worry about that. To reap the maximum benefit of Surya Namaskara, we should perform 12 sets of 12 asana. That means Surya Namaskara, that means 12 movements. And if you do all the 12 movements, then one round. Similarly, if you do 12 rounds, it completes one practice. So thus, every morning, if we practice all the 12 postures 12 times, that becomes a very ideal Surya Namaskara practice, because it strengthens our back, all muscles, and mind you, it brings down blood sugar levels. This is very important. It brings down our blood sugar levels. So that's why if anybody is suffering from blood sugar, so don't worry, because sugar is not that bad. Though chini is bad, all chini is bad, but Here, blood sugar is not something to worry very much. You can control that. Walk, do Surya Namaskar and some pranayama and keep yourself positive. Don't worry about blood sugar because it's not like cardiovascular disease. It is some disorder. It also improves metabolism and blood circulation. So for young girls, glowing skin. So without any turmeric or without any external application, you can have proper glowing skin also. And it ensures regular menstrual cycle for women. And especially, I recommend this to young girls and young women because if they practice Surya Namaskar every day, they can definitely lead a very, very strong life physically and mentally. And especially during the menstrual cycle also, they can get the regularity. So all irregular period will be stopped and they will not get any negative impact of that particular period. So they will be strong. So though there may be loss of that, but still they will be strong. And during the pregnancy and delivery and after delivery also, they can maintain good health if they practice Surya Namaskara. So don't practice during pregnancy, but before pregnancy, before marriage also, if you practice regularly, so you can maintain that health till your last days. So this what Vyasa Maharshi says in Mahabharata, he says that Purve vayasi tatkuryat yena vruddhaha sukham sope. So we should do that in the beginning of our life, with which we can lead a very positive life, good life in the later stage of life. Then we come to Kapalabhati. Kapalabhati, you must be watching or Ramdev Baba every day or sometimes, but you see there, Ramdev Baba often emphasizes on practice of Kapalabhati only. Kapalabhati is nothing but sit in Padmasana, straight, don't bend your body, and slowly start pushing your breath outside. That means with the movement of your stomach, you just throw out the inner air, the breath. So it becomes Kapalabhati through nostrils. So it is Kapalabhati because your forehead that gets brightened. So naturally the frontal part of the brain that gets a lot of energy. It dissolves all toxins and waste matter. It improves the functioning of the kidneys and liver, especially the people who are worried about their kidney or liver problem. They may give a try. It removes stress from the eyes and erases dark circles. And it's very important because most of the youngsters are worried about these only, eyes and dark circles around the eyes, because all the while they'll be sitting before the system and all the while they'll be watching the computer screen or they will be reading books, etc. So because of that, naturally they develop the dark circles, but they don't worry. They should not worry because Kapalabhati is very effective in this. It enhances blood circulation and digestion. So we can get proper cure of blood pressure disorders, heart ailments, baldness. Baldness is really worrying, and many people spend a lot of money on baldness, and because they spend money, they again get bald. That is the problem of that. That's why somebody asked the other person, "Are, why you look worried?" Then he said, "I'm getting bald. That's why I'm worried." Then asked, "Why are you getting bald?" "Because I'm worrying." So that happens. So we worry and we get bald. We get bald, we worry, because both are connected. So if we practice Kapalabhati, then automatically the the speed of baldness can get decreased. And this should be done first, then only Anulom Vilom. Mind you, first Kapalabhati, then when proper exercise is given to the lungs, then practice Anulom Vilom. And this Anulom Vilom, actually the pranayama beginning, then Nadi Shodhan. Anulom Vilom and Nadi Shodhan, observe here, when you close your right nostril and you inhale from left and then press your left and slowly exhale through the right, understand this is Anulom Vilom. So actually taking from left and leaving, exhaling through the right, then again through the right and exhale through the left. So this is one round. This is known as Anulom Vilom. But Nadi Shodhan, the slight difference between these two is Nadi Shodhan also is Anulom Vilom. But the only thing is you hold your breath for some time. for few seconds only, not much. So the air is inhaled from left nostril, or you are holding the breath, and exhale from the right. So this way, if you hold the breath, it is Nadi Shodhan. Without holding the breath, if you practice the breathing exercise, it becomes Anulom Vilom. And the benefits of this very clear. Basically, series of exercises, it brings more oxygen to the blood and to the brain. So this way we appreciate the benefits of pranayama. So the pictures are just shown. You can find better videos on the YouTube also. So these are Nadi Shuddhi, Kapalbhati, Bhramari, Agnisara, Anulom Vilom. These are very good. See, yoga is after all personal. Even though if you practice along with many people, mind you, the result will be totally personal. So that's why you decide whether you want to get into the life of yoga or not. You decide and you enter into that. Many people will follow you. So meditation, this is mental peace, concentration, and inner happiness. It's very good. And a recent study found 64% of increase is there in dopamine production. That is a chemical in the brain which is known as the happy hormone. So that actually, that chemical in the brain makes us happy. And only to get that happiness again and again, we sometimes go for shopping, sometimes eat chocolates, eat a lot of food, we watch cinemas, we sit with the beloved person, we share feelings. This is all for this dopamine release. So dopamine is released in greater quantity, especially when we practice meditation compared to long rest. That means 3-4 hours if we sleep, when we get up, we may not feel that freshness. But if we practice proper meditation and come out of that, we are sure to experience that freshness. Just 1 hour. But you don't worry. Every day 1 hour is not possible. So make sure that you practice meditation in the morning, 20 minutes, then second day, third day. So this way, if you practice meditation 20 minutes, that's very good. So for healthy life, exercise regularly and learn to meditate. Somebody asked Lord Buddha, what I have to do to get the state of meditation? Then Lord Buddha smiled and replied, not doing anything is meditation. If you do something, it is no meditation at all. So that is the funny side of that. Get a massage. So if you like it, many people may not like, but if you get proper massage, like Ayurveda massage, in Panchakarma, even in the Hatha Yoga, you have massage. So the Taila, Abhyangana, Shirosnana, etc. So that is sometimes good. But sleep well. This is very important. And listen to good music. So if we practice all these, what wellness is centered around what? One, eat well. Eat well, that means choose your food. Don't accept anything to get into your stomach. No, only chosen food. That means that should be fresh, that should be dry fruits and fruits, and that should give energy. And don't go after the allurement of your tongue, but listen to your brain and you listen to your body. It requires proper food. One, eat well. Then rest well. Rest well is actually we don't know proper rest also. We should be taught that. So we should learn the proper way of resting, and that is taking proper sleep, etc. 2. And third is doing well. Doing well means actually helping others, being cordial to others, extending our resources to others also. So this way, if we can help the society, this is actually a kind of philanthropic activity. So if we do that, definitely we develop this dopamine release. One. So eat well, sleep well, do well, and work well. Work well in the sense actually we should give proper exercise to the body. This is work well. And if we do all this regularly, and if we really connect these, so we need not worry about any corona, we need not worry about any other viral disorders or chronic disorders also. So therefore, we should understand first, And after understanding, we should determine, take a resolution that we will definitely get into the life of yoga, this determination. And after determination, we should actually shackle all the laziness. We should give up all laziness. Just stand and do yoga, that's all. And okay, sometimes it so happens that you get a gap, 1 day, 2 days gap. Don't worry, don't give up, but come back. Even after 2 days, if you practice yoga, you may find some difficulty, but still that's very good. Even after 1 week also, if you practice yoga, so that will be very good. Don't give up, that's very important. And listen to good music, because it actually soothes our senses, and it gives a very proper signal to the brain that there will be proper release of the alpha waves in the brain. So very calm, quiet. So that kind of music is very good, so that we can get proper release of alpha waves. And this is the last part of the presentation here. Remove all negativity and carry today onwards with you the positivity. The positivity in your life starts from this day, from this session. You all get only positive energy if you adopt the yogic life, because every moment is energized, every moment is beautified, every moment is really lived if we take yoga into our life. So with this yogic message, we remember with all gratitude the great contribution of Sage Patanjali, whose name we have been taking with great respect. Sage Patanjali, we all bow to you. You have given us the great Amrit called yoga, and we remember you always in the coming thousands of years also. My salutations to you. Namaskar. Yeah, if you can mute yourself, that will be nice.
Okay.
I just wanted to know whether yogasana can be done by a pregnant lady, how to increase immunity level through yoga. This is the first question I got on my WhatsApp. See, first thing is, pregnant lady depends on the month especially. In the initial few months, you can practice yoga, because 34 weeks, okay. But initial few months you can practice yoga, but you must have a good teacher with you, so that some movements are totally prohibited. You cannot practice. So please, you practice some Sukshma Vyayam and not letting yourself exposed to lot of strain, especially in the abdomen part. And with that, you can keep yourself healthy and strong. And yes, we can increase immunity level through yoga. Definite, 3 times. Because yeah, I was with Hegelin in the Netherlands. Recently, I was in the Canada also. So I found people who have been practicing yoga diligently and very sincerely, and appreciate these foreigners, because they are giving a message to India that it is your own production. You practice, otherwise we will take the patent. And luckily, Modi sir, he is a great leader. So he has given to us the great mantra. And he has told us, no, we take the patent. And International Yoga Day is now proven. Now, please, all the participants, I tell you, please make yoga a part of your life. Your immunity will be increased, and you really appreciate the Badruka session, my presentation, and yoga. Everything you will appreciate if you practice regularly. And somebody has questioned, any drink to weight loss? Please, I tell you, all drinks, protein supplements, etc., that is external, that will have side effects also. And you have beautiful breathing techniques. And Kapalabhati, initially 60 times, and if it is increased, it can lead to 500 times also. But it actually is very good, especially in the context of losing weight. And is Patanjali medicine 100% successful on COVID? I told you in the beginning that my Patanjali is different from Ramdev Baba's Patanjali. So therefore, this Patanjali, I assure, because this product is nothing but Ashtanga Yoga. That Patanjali, I don't know, because I have not used any medicine. Which yogas are helpful to overcome COVID? See, I have given you in one slide the Sukshma Vyayam, Surya Namaskar, and Kapalabhati, and little meditation also. Actually, this much is sufficient. It all depends. Actually, the amount of benefit we derive depends on the amount of time we dedicate, the amount of sincerity we put in that particular practice. So it all depends on our sincerity. It is known as Shraddha. That Vyasabhashya says, Shraddha Mulo hi yoga, Shraddha hi janani, Kalyani Janani va lok, Yoginam Pati. It says, if you get that sincerity, then like mother, it will save you, protect you in the life of yoga. So that's why you don't worry, yoga is with you. Prescribe the products. Sorry, Ashtanga Yoga is the only product, no other products. And how to improve flexibility by doing yoga? It's actually beautiful. Yoga gives you all flexibility, mental flexibility and physical flexibility. Because you do today or tomorrow, you just practice yoga, and the other day you tell everybody that yoga gives all flexibility. See, actually, I need not tell you. I have given you the medicine. You take and tell everybody. You will be the brand ambassador of Patanjali Maharshi. So, I am also like you. I am one of the practitioners. But I have practiced and I've been practicing, and I have conducted sessions in State Bank of India and in Hyderabad, State Bank of Hyderabad also, and here Management Institute also. I have conducted sessions, and I am really very happy that I have gained the maximum benefit of yoga, and everybody can gain, everybody can become good yoga practitioner. And how many minutes should we practice yoga daily? I have given you at least 35 minutes including all, and any video lessons. Yes, you can find so many lessons on the YouTube and various channels. And yoga and its relevance in this era, I have emphatically stated during my presentation that during these days of Corona especially, if we practice yoga, then definitely we can develop our immunity level, and that's actually very positive. Only thing is, if you are already practicing yoga, then you support my word. If you are new to yoga, then tomorrow onwards you practice. The next International Day of Yoga, when we meet once again, so you will definitely say, it's excellent. Yoga or any Ayurvedic medicine for nose bleeding in summer. Yeah, this is a great problem, especially when you have the that particular body composition, because some have the Vata, Pitta and Kapha. These actually depend on what kind of body you possess, like endomorphic, ectomorphic and mesomorphic. All these body systems are there. So you please, you understand your own body. You are lean, and immediately you get heat generated. Then you keep away some kind of food, especially during summer. That means not pickles. You don't take pickles, and don't take hot, all these like bhaji, etc. Avoid that, and try to take as much as possible the pure water and some fruits, especially some fruits. They are good for this particular one. And don't go for any medicine. Initially, it is not required. But if you practice, you put your feet in the bucket full of water for some time, you find some change in your body, so it gets cooled down. And how do become mentally strong? Breathing tips. Yeah, do Kapalabhati regularly, and some Brahmari with prana, Omkara. Omkara is very good, because if we practice Omkara, the range of alpha waves in the brain gets increased. So as a result, we get all this mental strength. So therefore, don't worry, you practice Kapalabhati with Omkara. That means first Kapalabhati, then Anulom Vilom, then your this Omkara. Then yes, yoga can cure corona. So you see, recently I have come across a video on the YouTube. A person was telling, was actually sharing his experiences with all the audience. He was telling that I got corona, but he's young. But he said, I practiced yoga daily, and I have given that hypnotic suggestions to myself, self-suggestions to myself, that nothing will happen, and gradually I have come out of that. Please, you listen to that and you get all positive. I don't think you have got, because corona patient may not be there, but if you get, don't worry, because not all people die of corona. It's actually very meager percentage of that the people get succumbed to this. Otherwise, it's not a big problem. Recently, I have listened to some Telugu interview also. He said, we all the people, members of the family got corona, but we didn't worry. We thought, okay, we have got, now we stand against that. And they practiced. They have taken good food and every day gargling and hot water, all this. Actually, this is very good. This prevents. So don't worry. And how to increase immunity, I have answered. And yoga daily important for positive thoughts. Yes, this is also answered, I believe. Everyday yoga, that is very good. It gives all positivity, and you feel that positivity within and outside also. That all the people around you tell you that "Arey, nowadays you are very active, very happy, glow on your face, and you have energized some aura." Then you understand it is the magic of yoga. So with this, I think I have answered all the questions, and I thank the Badruka and especially Abhirama Krishna sir and Srinivas sir, Bhavani madam, and our support. So with all your love and affection, I could share my whatever little information I have, I know, so that I have shared with you. And I wish all the best, especially on this day of International Yoga. I wish all Shubhakamanaha. Mama सर्वेषां कृते अद्यतन अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवसस्य शुभकामनाः. शुभं भवतु.
धन्यवाद सर. धन्यवादः.
धन्यवादः sir. धन्यवादः Shriman. Thank you sir for the wonderful speech. You have highlighted and enlightened us on all the benefits of yoga. Especially you have taught us that we have to go back to our roots right from this namaskara position. I think all of us will go back to the roots of our Indian culture and we will definitely start practicing yoga, sir. Thank you, sir, once again. May I now request our Dr. M. Srinivas, sir, Vice Principal and Convener of this webinar, to kindly propose a vote of thanks. Over to you, Srinivas, sir.
Thank you, madam. स्वस्थ भारत और समर्थ भारत, इस नारे को सार्थक बनाने के लिए हमें योग मार्ग पर चलना ही होगा. अपने जीवन को योगमय बनाना होगा, तभी स्वस्थ भारत का निर्माण होगा. इसी आशा के साथ इस कार्यक्रम का आयोजन किया गया. आशा करता हूं कि यह संगोष्ठी आप सबके सुखमय और स्वस्थ जीवन के लिए लाभकारी सिद्ध होगा. Before going to give a vote of thanks, I'm very happy to share that we have received some 1,144 registrations from all over the country, and from all the parts of the country like Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Tamil Nadu, Assam, Kerala, Goa, Arunachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Bihar, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, Sikkim, Gujarat, and from abroad also we have received Iran and Nepal, etc. So we are very grateful to all these our participants from different parts of our country. And before going to give a vote of thanks about our college, I just wanted to share a few things about our college. We have very good infrastructure facility at our college, and our students are placed in the highest positions in all over the world. We have very good academic excellent faculties with excellency, and our alumni is a very strong and bringing laurels and doing very great social service, etc. In our college, we have anti-ragging committee and different clubs to we have to extract the hidden talents of our students. We have different clubs like music club and film club, literary and cultural club, like so on. So now I'll just propose my vote of thanks Before going to give this vote of thanks, I'm extremely sorry because of some technical issues. We a half an hour late we have started, might be, and I hope you all enjoyed the session. I'm greatly thankful to our the guest of today's session, Professor Penna Madhusudan sir, for allocating his valuable time to share the screen with us in conducting the webinar and enlightening us on the benefits of yoga, which has to be followed by each one of us for a healthy, peaceful, and prosperous life. My special thanks to the management for their support in organizing this webinar. I'm grateful to our Honorary Secretary, Sri Mukundalalji Badruka, for extending his support in organizing this webinar. My special thanks to our Director General, Professor Abhirama Krishna sir, for all his encouragement, support, and guidance for conducting this National Sanskrit webinar. We are thankful to all the professors, doctors, associate professors, assistant professors, and research scholars and professionals from all over the country for being a part of our webinar. We are greatly thankful to our Commerce faculty, Mr. Naveen, Assistant Professor of Commerce, and Srimati Deepa, Madam, Assistant Professor of Commerce, for their timely support and cooperation from the beginning of registration until date. I thank and congratulate to Mr. Ramakrishna Sharma, Assistant Professor of Sanskrit, for his efforts in coordinating with the guest, host, participants, technical staff, and taking the responsibility of registration and groundwork, etc. I also thank Assistant Professor Srimati Bhavani Tripura for coordinating the webinar, and I congratulate her. Just as a perfect foundation is required for a strong building, our technical staff, though we are a little late, I just take this in a positive spirit, as just now the speaker said that we should balance, we should control our stress. And with this, I just thank these our technical personnel, Mr. Hayat Basha and Mr. Nasiruddin, helped us in successfully conducting the webinar. We are grateful to each of you, and we also thank all the participants, those watching live on YouTube. Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. With this spirit, we are moving forward. Your feedback and suggestions will give us strength to stand high in this competitive world. Thank you all once again. Stay home, stay safe. Shubham Bhuyat. Now, with a Shanti Patha, this webinar will come to end. Om Yauhu Shantiramtariksham Shanti Prithvi Shantirapashantiroshadhayah Shanti Vanaspatayah Shantirvisve Devah Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagam Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shubham Bhuyat.